Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Kansas City.
Royals baseball from New York. A long road trip comes to an end today with just one game at Yankee Stadium. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, I think. What day is it? What time is it? Where are we?
It's not Sunday.
It's been a heck of a road trip, hasn't it?
It's been a long one.
What do you look at when you look at a team and their overall numbers? What does a road record tell you about a team?
Road record, if you're in the plus side, if you're over 500, tells me you're heading to postseason most of the time, because you're going to have a winning record at home for the most part, but that road record is really important. Last year was a huge disappointment as the Royals were like 13 games under 500. This year they've improved that. They're a little bit better, but they must be over 500 on the road next year if they want to get to postseason.
And it's the final regular season road game for the Royals this year. And what a pitching matchup. We have one guy in his first Major League season against a guy in his 17th Major League season. The lineups in the first pitch are coming up next. On Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. And the warm weather has followed the Royals to the Bronx, New York. We understand it is warm back in Kansas City, but beginning tomorrow and through the rest of the final homestand, there is no day warmer than 72 degrees, so it will begin to feel like late September. For the Yankees, they will finish at home beginning today. They have an outside chance at the division, but still 5 games back of Boston, and there's no more head-to-head between the Yankees and the Red Sox, and they have a very good chance of hanging on to that top wild card spot with a 4.5 game lead over Minnesota. Minnesota has a 4.5 game lead over the Angels. Here's the Royals lineup today. Lorenzo Cain will be the designated hitter. Melky Cabrera will be in left field. Jorge Bonifacio will get the start in right. Paulo Orlando will be in center. So with CC Sabathia, big lefty, on the mound, Ned Yost will begin the game with Alex Gordon and Brandon Moss on the bench. Tough day offensively for the Royals yesterday. It was the 32nd time this year they have scored either 1 or 0 runs in a game. That's the most in the American League. The White Sox ended up taking 2 out of 3 in that series, and now the Royals are 4-6 on this long road trip, which ends today. Our 4th city on one road trip.
Yeah, you know, that's unusual for sure, as we get the shot of the young Rookie of the Year, possibly Aaron Judge. But you know, after that military game we did a week or so ago, you know, it just brought back perspective about, you know, those dads have and moms haven't seen their kids in a year. And I'm thinking, I'm complaining about this 12-day trip? I don't think so. Let's go home. Let's enjoy baseball. Let's enjoy this final game here. Get back to the K and really be happy. And you know, the fans, I think, are going to have a thankful heart the last week of the season for these players that have brought so much joy to them over the last few years. So, you know, it's a time to really be thankful.
First things first, and the Yankees have the second highest run differential in the American League to the Cleveland Indians, and this has not been a good place for the Royals. The Yankees are already 4-2 against the Royals this year, so they've won the season series 5 of the last 6 season series, and today is a makeup because of a rainout back in May. So this was a scheduled off day for the Royals to be back in Kansas City, but instead it is a makeup. Joe Espada, the Yankees third base coach, is exchanging lineup cards with Mike Jerschley, the Royals third base coach. And our umpiring crew includes Jerry Lane, the crew chief. He'll be at third base. Marvin Hudson will be behind the plate. Dan Bellino is at first, and Mike Estabrook is at second. So the Royals are wrapping up a road trip. The Yankees did wrap up a road trip, their last, in Toronto. They followed the Royals into Toronto. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays, but they've had a very good month of September. The Yankees are 15-7 in September. They have not lost back-to-back games in September. So they are finishing strong and hoping to carry that into the postseason. Well, we thought the Royals are going to be facing CC Sabathia. And,
he's not ready.
No offense, but I like their chances if that's who they're going to be facing today.
Oh, special ceremony.
I believe that's Elsa from Frozen.
Okay, now I am a little more familiar with that movie. There he is.
CC Sabathia in his 17th big league season. He is 6'6", 300 pounds, and just 37 years old. I say just 37 because he's been around for so long, but that'll tell you how young he was when he started with the Cleveland Indians. 20 years of age when he made the Indians out of spring training for the first time.
Yeah, you know, that 3.81 ERA, that's not too bad for a man who at once threw up close to 100. He was a young phenom, and he's really lasted well. He's adjusted his game. Slider cut, fastball. You see that. It's unusual to not have your fastball in the #1 slot there. But he's learned how to pitch, and he's not done too bad. The Yankees has really helped him get to where they are. Defending the Yankees now, CC's throwing to a catcher. He's young and he's learning more how to block balls and catch, but man, his catch and throw skills are great. 33% caught stealing this season. That's well above average. can work on blocking, you know, doing some other things back there, and he will as he evolves. He can hit too.
CC Sabathia is one of 9 pitchers all time with 20 or more wins against the Royals. 20-11 going back to 2001. And while his style has changed, his success has not against the Royals. 6-1 in his last 7, with an ERA just barely over 2.
His slider is his big pitch. Opponent's just hitting 184. He's going to throw it, you know, to mainly right-handed stacked lineups down to the back right leg of the hitter. Tough to pick up.
And Witt, who's been swinging at the first pitch of the game quite a bit on this road trip, fouls it away. So the 105 game begins at 109. Slider is called a strike. Witt may have thought that was a little bit high. He has a home run, 6 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases on this trip, and hitting .343 over his last 8. Breaking ball stayed outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Witt, he's been swinging at a lot of pitches recently out of the zone on the outer half, but you know what? He's trying to go to right field, and then he's been trying to pull. Let's see if he can just stay up the middle. Right to him.
Aaron Judge makes the play. 1 down.
But Yankee Stadium certainly in right field at 314 down the right field line, it carries well and can easily be hit out in that part, even from a right-hander. So, but CC's going to be coming in with his cutters and sliders in on righties and trying not to leave anything middle or away so a right-hander can go that way.
Lorenzo Cain hit a solo home run in the 4th inning yesterday. His 15th. It was the only run for the Royals. And 12 of his 15 home runs this year have come on the road. Fastball for strike 1 at 87. It doesn't seem like that long ago when it was 97 from Sabathia.
But you know what? You still can successfully win and pitch when you spot that ball. And you still can change speeds. He's got a decent changeup. Lorenzo's 2 for 10 in his career off of CC. Plus all the knowledge you know you've gained in his long big league career. He's a smart pitcher now.
1 ball and 2 strikes. His ERA this season is 3.81, but if you go back to the middle of May, it is 3.03. Tied for 6th in the American League with Justin Verlander. Another fly ball to right field. 2 outs. There will be a buzz from the crowd all day. It's not a huge crowd at Yankee Stadium, but there's a lot of kids here today. Very similar to our Kids Day at the K at Kauffman Stadium. The Yankees have hosted the first ever Bronx Education All-Star Day. There are 8,000 students who were recognized for their hard work throughout the school year, and they are guests of the Yankees this afternoon.
Did you say the first one?
The first one.
Nice.
Bronx Education All-Star Day. So
Yeah.
they earned the ticket to the game
Good for
because
them.
of their grades.
I love that. Give them an incentive, a reward, especially coming here. Watch a big league game.
Melky, the former Yankee, hits a soft liner to short. 3 up, 3 down for the Royals in the top of the 1st inning. Jacob Junis will make his New York debut when we come back. year as Yankee manager, and typical dangerous offense, especially dangerous in this ballpark. The Yankees are second in the league in runs scored to the Astros, and it'll be an interesting matchup for Jacob Junis, a pitcher who doesn't walk many at all, facing a lineup that has the most walks in the league.
Shouldn't be a problem for him. He's a strike thrower, no question. Fastball, slider, change, curve. That slider, it's been his out pitch. It's a beauty. Has some good depth to it. Late breaking.
Ball one on Brett Gardner. A 20 home run season for Brett Gardner. And that is with 125 consecutive at-bats without a home run.
Went into a little cold spell.
Now this ballpark helps Gardner, but still, this is a guy who came up to the big leagues, has kind of a reputation of being a slap type of a hitter, a bunter, somebody who's going to get on base and steal bases. 20 home runs is the most he's ever hit in a season by 3. Paulo Orlando didn't get a good read on that. He was staying back on it. The wind appears to be blowing in. Both fly balls to right field in the top of the first inning. Aaron Judge ended up making the play coming back in toward the infield.
Yeah, watch Paulo. He'll slip too. That didn't help. Right here, once he readjusts his route, he slipped, and there's no way that ball's going to be caught. Ford around the horn. Royals defense. Bonifacio getting his first start in the outfield since September 1st. Wow. Go ahead. Got a good showing here in Yankee Stadium. Earlier in the season, he hit a couple homers, so Ned said, I'm going with him.
Great stop by Salvador Perez. That keeps Gardner at first base. And ball one on 6'7" Aaron Judge.
Salvi made that pick look easy, didn't he? Wow. Smooth hands.
Two and 0. Our Toyota League leaders, Aaron Judge is 1 home run away from the major league record for a rookie. Mark McGwire hit 49 back in '87. So he has 7 games to tie and try and pass McGwire, and that's launched to center field, and Paulo makes the play on the track. That might be more evidence that the wind is blowing in from center field. 1 down.
Yeah, you know, I can just tell by the sound he didn't quite barrel it. When he barrels one, there's no doubt he hit it off the end of his bat. He was a little bit out in front of it, but anytime he hits a ball in the air, I don't care if it's a pop-up or not, he's going to get a reaction out of the crowd. He's such a prolific power hitter.
Gary Sanchez with a runner at first base and 1 out. Interesting lineup with Aaron Judge batting second, Sanchez third, and DIDI Gregorius batting fourth.
Yep, you know, Joe Girardi's been shifting his lineup around quite a bit recently, and DIDI Gregorius is getting that nod, not just for the 25 home runs he's hit, but 309 with runners in scoring position. He likes those numbers of driving runs in. Sanchez, this is a power hitting catcher, no question about it. He came on strong last year, we all know. He's had more difficulties, though, defensively than he has with the bat.
Big rip, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sanchez goes up the right field line and into the corner. Gardner stumbled a bit rounding second. He'll be held at third, and Gary Sanchez has a 1-out double. Pretty good adjustment after the wild swing the pitch before.
No doubt, and the fact that he waited and went deep with it, or let the ball travel deep towards Salvi, and then you could see how he just hesitated his swing and took it to the opposite field. It tells me there's a nice adjustment in swing on a pitch that was up and in the middle.
And now DIDI Gregorius, who has set a Yankee record for home runs by a shortstop this year. Fastball up and away, and Gregorius chased it at 93 miles an hour, 0-1. Backhanded by Hosmer, a run will score, and the other two runners advance. Gardner comes down from third. Sanchez advanced to third, and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Yeah, you know, Sanchez ended up in no man's land between second and third base as he watched Haas go back to the bag at first, and then all of a sudden he kind of just froze and then decided to go, almost drawing a throw from Haas at first. I'm not so sure exactly why he waited, but anyway, nice backhand pickup there. That's not routine, but watch second base runner Sanchez. Watch what he does. Kind of freezes, then he stops. I don't know why he was stopping. It wasn't a line drive. But anyway, Haas didn't throw, which was good.
Matt Holliday in his first season with the Yankees has hit 18 home runs. That'll be out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Holliday's been on the disabled list a couple of times. He had a viral infection in late June and then lower back problems in early August. So that has slowed him down in the second half. 2-1. Holliday collected his 2,000th career hit earlier this year.
He's had an outstanding career. Good time hitter, big time. He's got pop. He's done well in the clutch. 304 average with the runner in scoring position. He's a veteran that they needed.
Got him looking at a fastball. The Yankees get 1. Gregorius with an RBI, driving in Brett Gardner. Time of year has something to do usually with a team going into the postseason, and it's the Arizona Diamondbacks. JD Martinez, man, what a pickup that has been for Arizona. He had a walk-off hit to beat the Marlins yesterday, so the Diamondbacks are in one way or another. They have a rather sizable lead in the National League wild card. Ball one from CC Sabathia to Eric Hosmer. Here's a good buddy of ours. That's Joe Lavero, who was our television producer for 4 years on Fox Sports Kansas City and now lives in New York.
Yeah, surrounding himself with some Royals fans.
1-1 on Eric Hosmer. Hosmer, Perez, and Moustakas.
Oh,
pass Sabathia, big hop. Gregorius. That made that play a lot easier. One down.
CC knows better than that. Todd Frazier, third baseman, is coming over as he's handing the ball to CC, saying, "Come on, you don't use your bare hand. You can get in trouble. We need you for down the stretch." Look at that hop, that little candy hop right here. Oh, perfect. Shortstop's got to have great footwork. DD has him.
Salvador Perez with one out. No balls, one strike. It's also the time of year when a lot of players are reaching and surpassing milestones. Salvi already has a Royals record with 23 of his 26 home runs as a catcher. And now he's 1 RBI shy of tying a career high. He had 79 back in 2013.
Just 1 for 10 off of CC. Oh. Cutters, sliders in. Tough to reach with your barrel. 9 of his 26 homers are off southpaws.
Still 1-2. The Royals record for RBIs by a catcher is held by Darrell Porter. He had 112 back in 1979. 2-2.
That's that little backdoor slider there that you can't give up on. That's the one. If you see it enough, you want to recognize it, shoot it to right field. Hit it over the fence. Yeah, Salvi, he eyeballed it.
Into the Royals dugout, 2-2. It seems like that right field fence is better for right-hand batters because they're thinking opposite field than it is left-hand batters who are up there trying to pull the ball.
Yeah, and we all know by watching our guys this year the differences between hitting and pulling it and going the opposite field. Whether it's Hosmer, who's had a lot of success, or Alex, who hasn't had that much success until recently going to the opposite field. That really is the key. But the whole problem is hitters love to pull the ball. They just love it. It's a natural thing for a hitter to want to yank it. That's your strong side. Right-handed hitters, most time your right hand is a dominant hand. So you're going to top hand. You're going to try to yank everything.
Cutting in on his hands. Sabathia has his first strikeout.
Salvi might just want to lay off of those because he's going to have to recognize that those are balls. Those are off the plate and down. But that's where CC's designed to execute his best pitch.
Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. CC Sabathia has the 3rd most strikeouts for a left-hand pitcher in Major League history. He's got a ways to go to get to 4,000 in the same league as Steve Carlton and Randy Johnson. But still 3rd most. Breaking ball strike on Mike Moustakas. 0-2. Mentioned that Ned Yost selected to put the lineup together without Alex Gordon and Brandon Moss, leaving a couple of lefties out of there today. Sabathia is pretty balanced, righty-lefty. Gregorius, the only infielder on the left side, throws out Moustakas, and Sabathia set down the first 6. A bright, sunny, warm day in New York.
For the second inning in his first ever visit to Yankee Stadium. Joel Goldberg down by the Royals dugout and talking to manager Ned Yost today about Junis and what about being on the big stage. We've talked so much about the rookie's composure, and he said he's already been on the big stage. Think about the amount of people he performed in front of in Cleveland during that streak. So he's experienced all of that, and Ned said that, yeah, you're born with his ability to be composed. It can be a skill that some people learn, but others are just born with it, and clearly Jacob has that composure. And then I asked him, you know, how much conversation he has with Jacob, and he said, I'm lucky if I get anything out of him. Maybe if I say hi to him, he might say hi back. And about a moment later, great pick by Hosmer there. Dave Island walks by Junis, and he says, hi, Jake, good morning. What's up? And that was it. He is very calm and cool. And the next time, guys, that we hear some noise in the clubhouse involving Junis, that'll be the first.
That's for sure. And he's always been like that. You know, some guys have to make a conscious effort to stay calm. Maybe they're not that way by nature away from the field. Right to Escobar at short. 2 down. But Junis said really he's been like that ever since he can remember. He's just been very quiet by nature, very calm, and he was had a smile on his face and kind of laughing. He said, you know, when I was younger, my dad used to get on me and say, come on, show some more emotion out there, you know,
about it.
But if it's not your nature, it's not your nature. But it's served him quite well early in his big league career.
Yeah, now young players can be intimidated by their manager, though, early in their career. I was, you know, I was scared to death of Yogi Berra and Earl Weaver and guys like that. So I only spoke unless they spoke to me first. So he could be going through some of that. Maybe later, once he becomes a regular in that rotation, he'll loosen up some. But first years can be tough on young guys as far as their skipper.
By looking at those numbers, it has not been a good year for Jacoby Ellsbury. It's not been a very good run since he became a Yankee. But he's had a good September. 3 balls and no strikes. The Yankees have had a good September, so here are the players that have helped them along the way. A .382 average in the month of September. When we were here in May, remember, he banged into the wall in center field and had to come out and ended up going on the disabled list with a concussion.
Yeah, it was a scary crash. I mean, he always hustles and plays hard, but you hope you never run into a wall like he did. That was tough.
Junis has a 1-2-3 second inning after giving up a run in the first. Inning, and talking about young players being overwhelmed or not being overwhelmed playing in New York. Our Kubota Power stats when the Royals were here in May. Bonifacio hit home runs in his first 2 games here, including his first at bat. Same for Mike Moustakas, who homered in his first at bat in this stadium. I feel like I'm up here in the broadcast booth, but as impressive as this newer Yankee Stadium is, it's not as intimidating for visiting players as the old one was.
I agree with that. Now, I never got to play here, but being in this ballpark, it's not the same. The old place, you had if you had a 1-run lead in the 9th inning, you're in trouble. It was just tough to beat them here.
That upper deck wasn't pushed back like it is here. And in the newer stadiums, that upper deck, I mean, it hung out, you know, not far back from the dugouts. I mean, so you'd have 50,000 people there right on top of you. And then the history, of course. You could be overwhelmed by standing in the same batter's box as Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth.
Yeah, you know, it was a little bit intimidating for me being a young Yankee and making my debut here and having a locker in this building, which was like, wow, really? The minute you open up the door to the locker room, it seemed like there just was a glow of pinstripes, and it was impressive. Look at all the numbers retired. I mean, they've won more World Series championships here, obviously, but to experience being a Yankee was pretty interesting. A lot of drama. Bonifacio definitely a little bit aggressive. And he's way ahead of CC's offerings because he's jumping out there. I mean, CC's changing speeds on him, and that's Bonifacio's pitch. He likes that breaking ball. He's tricking him. And being, you know, that man's first bonus baby, 1978. He bought the team in '73, and I was his first #1 pick. They flew me here to meet him. It was intimidating. He invited me up to his office, you know, and that whole thing, but eventually got here, but didn't stay long. So I went from a prospect to a suspect. Had to fight my way out.
But you wrote him a letter.
I did.
Because you were upset that you were not moving along in the minor leagues like you thought you should have.
Well, yeah, 5 years in the Florida State League, 6 years in A-ball. Finally, I was like, you know what, I had enough. I asked my manager then in A-ball, Stump Merrill. I said, Stump, what do you think if I wrote Mr. Steinbrenner a letter and asked him for a promotion? He said, whoa, kid. I don't know. He said, well, not a bad idea if you have the courage, but make it short. He didn't like long letters. So Dickie Scott, a roommate of mine at the time and a teammate, who's now Terry Collins' bench coach for the Mets in New York, helped me compose a small letter to Mr. Steinbrenner. Dear Mr. Steinbrenner, I've worked hard in your organization, presently hitting .300 for the Fort Lauderdale Yankees. I would appreciate it if you would consider a promotion for me. Signed, Rex Hudler. We went to the Bay Harbor Inn in Tampa. He has a hotel. And so I took it up to the front desk when we checked in. And I said, excuse me, ma'am, could you please give this letter to Mr. Steinbrenner when he comes to town? And she says, oh, he's here. I'll take it up to him right now. Oh, man, I wouldn't expect him to be in town. So I got tight. I was nervous. So we get to the ballpark that day, and there was 4 o'clock. There's nobody in the stands. Stump Merrill and George Steinbrenner are sitting in the stands talking. And I'm out there warming up, and my stomach was growling. I was really worked up. I was nervous. I was scared to death. It takes a lot of courage to write a letter to a man like that.
To be continued. Sabathia has retired the first 9 Royals. Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By the Missouri Lottery, every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Ford, going further so you can. 1-0 Yankees on a DIDI Gregorius RBI ground out in the first inning. The Yankees lineup has 6'7" Aaron Judge batting second and 5'8" Ronald Torreyes batting ninth. 5'8", 150 pounds. And with 45 more home runs, he would tie Judge for the team lead. But once again, baseball is for all sizes.
Believe it. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the heart in the dog.
And he didn't have to go very far to duck out of that pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, Junis did an excellent job of wiggling out of that first inning, by the way. He really has some excellent composure. They had a couple of guys on, had a chance to have a big inning, and he shut it down right away. His tempo is great. His confidence is really good, and he hadn't said a word.
Still 2-2.
There's a shade side of the stadium, and there's a sun side of the stadium. I think you'd probably rather be on the shade side today.
Moustakas cuts it off, sets his feet, and gets to Reyes. And Junis is set down the last 6.
All right. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Okay, so we're in Fort Lauderdale.
No. We're in St. Petersburg now.
St. Petersburg.
Playing the Cardinals. We stayed at Steinbrenner's Hotel in Tampa.
You have hand-delivered a letter to the front desk. Mr. Steinbrenner has it, and now you're warming up on the field, and George Steinbrenner and Stump Merrill are sitting together in the stands.
Yeah, in the meantime, I'm having some stomach issues.
Okay,
warming up.
We'll leave it at that.
Okay, so Stump comes out of the stands. I go up to the cage. I go up to my manager. I said, Stumpy, did Mr. Steinbrenner by chance say anything about getting my letter? And Stump was chewing tobacco, and he was chewing it. Paused for about 5 seconds and spit, and he goes, yeah, kid, he loved it. So I went inside to the clubhouse and relieved myself of my stomach issues, and then I came back out and played and got 2 or 3 hits. We won the game. We bussed back to Fort Lauderdale, and the next morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, I got a phone call the next day. And it was the general manager, and he said, you're going to AAA the next day.
From A-ball.
That's right. Jumped right over AA. You're going to AAA. So I'm like, wow, get my stuff together. I get on the airplane, and I'm having a talk with myself on the airplane. Self, if you pop off to that guy and you don't perform, you're in big trouble.
And Self said, Hud, right? Okay.
Yeah, Self said, you better perform.
Okay.
You better stand up. And I did, and so that he gave me my first break by draft me, but then he gave me my second break, and then I never went back. I mean, I stayed in AAA for a few years and then went to the big leagues. That ball got by him there. He's going to get on. Too bad.
Well, thank you for sparing no details in that story.
I had to tell you the whole story because, you know, it was a turning point in my career. I might still be an A-ball.
Oh, boy. Back to live action. Here's Aaron Judge, who drove Paulo Orlando to the warning track in center field in the first inning. But I think the moral to your story is that don't be afraid to take a risk and challenge your boss to give you promotion.
I mean, challenge him respectfully. But I really felt like I was ready for promotion. And I would think most players nowadays, they don't spend 6 years in the minor leagues at all, let alone 6 years in A-ball.
Judge is ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes, as he was in the first inning. Not just impressive rookie numbers, impressive big league numbers. Second most home runs, runs scored, walks, second best on base percentage and slugging percentage in the major leagues in his first full season. And Junis goes with a slider on 2-0.
So you mentioned those numbers, and we all know he's good at playing baseball, but things that are standing out that impress me and his manager Joe Girardi is his attitude and the respect he has for those who came before him. He's a yes sir kind of young man. He serves his teammates. He really is taking this season in stride and not getting too arrogant, too blown up. I asked Matt Holliday last time we were here, what's he like with you guys? He says, I've never been around a young player that has his respect and maturity in his first year. Never.
Gardner runs, and Judge hits it deep to right field, and he has tied the major league record. 49 home runs for a rookie. Mark McGwire for the Oakland A's in 1987, and 30 years later, Aaron Judge for the Yankees.
Tough to sneak a piece of cheese by this hungry rat. That's some 95, and he just put his barrel on it. Opposite field, no problem. Almost up there near the Judge chambers.
Which was brand new when we were here last time. One strike on Gary Sanchez. He helped set up the Yankees' first run with a one-out double. That got Gardner to third, and then Gardner scored on the ground out by Gregorius. Two and one. Look out.
Oh, man. Tough ricochet there.
Sanchez is down on strikes, so Junis recovers after the home run and gets out number 2. The home run by Aaron Judge. The Royals are the last American League team that he has homered against, and in the first 6 games this year between the Royals and the Yankees, Aaron Judge not only was without a home run, he was without an extra base hit, and he was without an RBI.
Man, Dave Island's got to feel good about the way they pitched to him this year. You know, and Junis didn't do anything wrong there. He challenged him up in the zone with 95. I mean, Junis typically doesn't reach the velocity like that. He's done an excellent job pitching to him this year.
That ball's hit well to center field. Paulo Orlando was already in that area, and he makes a play. So Gardner walks with 1 out, and Aaron Judge hits his 49th home run, and the Yankees lead 3-0. 49th home run to put the Yankees in front 3-0. Unleash your creativity with a Paint at the Park theme ticket. Purchase this theme ticket for Thursday and take part in a pregame paint class in our Hall of Fame pavilion led by Pino's Palette. Each theme ticket includes one complimentary beverage and your ticket to watch the Royals and the Tigers. Royals.com/theme tickets. So the Yankees lead 3-0, and now the Royals will try to begin by getting their first base runner against CC Sabathia. 9 up, 9 down. Sabathia struck out 3. 1-1 on Witt. He flied out to right field to begin the game.
CC's just doing a masterful job of changing speed so far. He's changing speeds on his slider. Mixing in a little cutter too. Not quite as big a break. In on his hands. The adjustment that you might make second time through off of CC would be for a right-handed batter, and most of them are all right, is to back off a little bit of the plate. That means back out towards your dugout. And that way he's going to try to throw that cutter in there, and it's going to give you a little bit more room to keep your hands inside the ball and bust it. An inch is a lot to move in the batter's box for a hitter. Most of the time a hitter gets his certain toe hole in there and he don't change that. He knows exactly where he is in that batter's box. But when you find yourself making adjustments like that and then it works, then you're like, hey, all right, I'm learning how to adjust my hitting style. But he's just burying on their hands right now. He's staying in there and he's working. It's working for him. I remember Al Leiter, Terry Mulholland. They had nasty, hard cutters that would come in and break your bat. And if you swung and made contact, it'd break your bat. You had no chance. It's tough.
That's 4 strikeouts for Sabathia.
See, that's right where he wants to execute it. Back leg to the righty. He's on top of his game. He's got him a little lead. He's going to be tough. Royals just going to have to discipline themselves to lay off of that if they want to have any success off of it. He'll keep throwing it down there.
Lorenzo Cain with 1 out. Yeah, interesting how you say some hitters just moving a little bit is a big deal, and then there are some guys moving around in the batter's box is no big deal. They have a comfortable spot but are willing to move. When Joe Randa was a Royal, he had really good numbers against Mark Burley. He had really good numbers against Andy Pettit. And I remember asking about that, and he says, yeah, I just back off the plate a little bit more and try and go the other way. It was no big deal to him.
Yeah.
But to other guys, I mean,
yeah, it's weird.
Almost like, you know, they are molded into their spot in the batter's box.
That's right. And I knew some guys that would move up towards the pitcher or back depending on the break of their curveball. My former hitting coach and teammate Don Baylor, the late Don Baylor, just passed here this summer, unfortunately. He'd faced a lot of those left-handers in his day. Scotty McGregor, Mike Flanagan. There were left-handed pitchers that had big curves. I mean, like you know, big 12-6 hammers that were like, you know, a 4-foot break, and he would move all the way back to the very back of the batter's box and make that curve so it would bounce in front of the plate. He wouldn't swing at it, and he would tell himself, hey, look, they're going to have to really get that thing over the plate before I swing at it. So little things like that you would learn when they would come back to the dugout and share that with you. There you
Royals
go.
get their first base runner. Cain is on with 1 out. The most popular way to follow the MLB postseason push is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, statcasts, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Pulled foul by Melky Cabrera. He lined out to short in the first inning. There's Larry David. Curb your enthusiasm, which he's doing a pretty good job of right now.
Okay. Glad he's here.
You never know who you're going to see here at Yankee Stadium. No balls and 2 strikes on Melky Cabrera. And now Melky gets the Royals' first hit. So after Sabathia retired the first 10, the Royals have a walk and a single with 1 out in the 4th.
Yeah, how about this now? Okay, now that's a good pitch by CC. Tried to bring it in from the outside part of the plate. They call it the back door, and he went down and got it. Good handsy type hit. Makes him 7 for 18 with 2 homers in his career off of CC. Time to keep it going here now. A lot of cutters, sliders away to Haas. If you try to pull him, you might end up grounding into a double play. You want to stay away. Keep your hands inside. And bust him to center or left.
Only a 5-point difference between Hosmer's overall batting average and his average with runners in scoring position.
Clutch. Gotta have him here. Get back in this game here.
There's the pitch that you said they need to lay off of. Instead of 2-0, it's 1-1.
Have to see him up. It's all about the release point, where it comes out of his hand. And it comes out of the belt. It's going to be in the dirt down low. That hit by Melky, that wasn't exactly a mistake by CC, but it was out over the plate. Yeah, there you go. Leave it. Spit on it. Let's go back to show you that Melky hit. This is nice handsy hitting here. Okay, his stride, he stops his stride, his backside falls out, but look at the head position. That's nice. I call that a handsy type hit. When you use your hips for power, you see the home runs, but he wasn't in his hips. He fell out. His backside fell out. Ooh.
2-2. Chop to the right side. Bird will take it to the bag. 2 down. Cain goes to third. And Melky moves up to second. And now Salvador Perez has a chance to tie and surpass his previous career high in RBIs. He is 1 shy of 79, which he accomplished 4 years ago. Sabathia struck him out with a fastball in the second inning.
He's going to stay in there.
Gregorius with a great backhand pick, and that's the inning. So the Royals get their first 2 base runners, but they strand 2 in scoring position against Sabathia. bottom of the 4th inning. Let's take a look at our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. Aaron Hicks, the former first-round pick of the Minnesota Twins, never fulfilled his potential there. So he came to the Yankees in a trade and was really starting to put it together, starting to become what the Twins had hoped. Switch hitting outfielder, good defense, good speed, power potential, but he's been on the disabled list twice, and most recently with the dreaded oblique injury. So he's out. But the Yankees are pretty well covered in the outfield with Gardner, Ellsbury, and Judge. But Ellsbury, when he was out earlier in the year, Hicks was picking up the slack and then some. Matt Holliday did not go around, according to Dan Bellino over at first base. Holliday struck out looking in the 1st inning.
Hicks was coming alive not only with the bat, but the center field play was outstanding. Too bad for him.
Back to Junis, who has time and gets it over to Hosmer for the first out. St. Louis Blues hockey is coming to Sprint Center on Thursday. You can catch a preseason NHL game between the Blues and Minnesota Wild. For tickets, visit stlouisblues.com. So you can see the Blues at Sprint Center on Thursday and all season right here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Now Greg Bird into left field. And Escobar has to go out and get it. Melky Cabrera was slow to react, and again it appears that the wind is blowing in. Anything hit high is going to get knocked down, and that fly ball was.
You know, there was some sun issues there, no doubt about it. See, Escobar looked right there twice. He looked twice to see where Melky was, and that's always important to know if the outfielder got a good break or not on a little tweener like that.
So Todd Frazier with 2 down.
You know, so far, knock on wood, we're a week away. We haven't seen a collision in the outfield by any of our players. They're so good at communicating. They know each other. They know exactly where they are, and so that's good. A lot of teams can't say that.
Had a play, 0-2. Frazier grounded out to short in the 2nd inning. And he's down on 3 pitches. So since the 2-run home run, Junis has retired 5 in a row with a couple of strikeouts. And now at the end of 4, the Yankees lead 3-0. It's time for our sprint trivia question. Who has the highest career OPS in postseason history with a minimum of 40 at-bats? Maybe it's one of the 87 retired numbers of the Yankees. Maybe not. I've been told there is a Royals-Yankees connection.
He stayed up long and hard to try to stump us on this one.
Johnny Damon. No. He is not in uniform today. That ball's not hit very high. And so Sanchez, you won't see a catcher usually that get that far away from home plate and catch a pop up, but he had to run hard because it just wasn't hit very high.
Showing some athleticism there. Yeah, that's the worst. You know, your hitter Moose is not happy with that. Good play. Able to get to it with no problem. Watched it all the way in his glove.
Jorge Bonifacio with one out. That'll drop into left field in front of Gardner. It is the second hit for the Royals and just their third base runner. Sabathia opened by knocking down the first 10 Royals hitters today, then a walk and then a single, and now Sabathia has gotten 3 of the last 4.
Just love watching Bonifacio's lower half work when he gets his hits. He just barely, now he just not even moving his foot, his front foot. Just trusting his hands. He's got a good wide base. He's gonna have a nice future. Sure enough, his fundamentals are sound with a bat in his hand.
Bonifacio on a delayed steal, and he's out. Torres, I think, blocked the bag, or as HUD would say,
he dropped the gate. It's nice.
Gregorius might be saying, be careful when you do that, you can get hurt.
Yeah, but you know what? Your foot can't get in there. Watch him. Where is he? Where did he touch the base? Nowhere. It's an excellent play. Hey, look at that. He drops his gate right there, and now the sliding runner can't get through it. Although if you're going feet first and the guy drops the gate,
you're open game.
You got to pay the consequence for that. I used to, out of my peripheral, would see if the guy was going head first or not. I could see him as I'm watching the throw come from the catcher. Out of my peripheral, I could tell if he's coming head first. A little bit easier to drop the gate when the guy's going in with his hands. Although, you know, you're not afraid out there. Not afraid of spikes.
2-2 on Escobar. All right, let me ask you this. I mean, going in high with your spikes, so
well,
feet first, your spikes are off the ground. Is it considered less dirty if a guy blocks the bag on you? I mean,
yeah,
he's trying to keep you from getting to the base.
Right. But still,
what's your answer to that?
Yeah. I'm never gonna slide with my spikes up in the air, but my spikes are down low. With his knees down low, he's in trouble. up 3-0, folks. Help support Team Up for Down Syndrome, an organization dedicated to strengthening and empowering those with special needs to help them reach their full potential. Purchase your special day at the K themed ticket for this Sunday. Each themed ticket package includes a $5 donation to Team Up for Down Syndrome, as well as special day at the K t-shirt. Get your themed ticket at royals.com/themed tickets. We sure do appreciate you.
Jacoby Ellsbury will lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. So for a parent who has not signed up for special day at the K in previous years, what does that day look like?
Looks like a lot of fun. This special themed ticket's going to get you an opportunity to have lunch out there. Salty iguana. Get there.
Bonifacio makes a next running play on Ellsbury. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, a little salty iguana, little meet and greet. We have a little fundraiser out there at the tent out there in right field. They get a ticket. They can bring their family, go up and enjoy. They get a T-shirt, you know, and really it's an opportunity for parents to spend time with their special needs kids at the ballpark, which a lot of parents don't get. They're so busy. And some of our special needs children and young people are more severe than others. So there's a lot of care, a lot of work that goes involved. But because the Royals have been so kind in helping us with this, and Fox Sports Kansas City with the T-shirts and stuff, we've made it a special day, exactly what it is. And so we're real thankful that we can allow families to come out and enjoy the grand game, especially our Royals, on the last day of the season this year. Thanks for asking.
1-1 on Ronald Torreyes.
We'll get my lovely wife Jennifer next week to come on with Joel, and she can kind of explain a little bit more, and she does it a lot better than I do.
Jennifer speaks at least one language fluently. Two and two.
She won't share her stomach issues either.
Okay, that's.
Pick.
Salvador Perez, as he normally does, alerted the left side of the infield to be ready. And Torreyes has a 1-out double, getting it by Moustakas. A little subtle move with his glove to let him know, be ready, over on the left side. Runner at second base, 1 out.
And that's why he does it. Because an off-speed pitch, a right-handed batter is going to be out in front of it. It's going to be more likely to pull it. Here he comes. Watch out. And there it was. It stayed up, and Moose almost timed the pick just right. See, reaction position at third base, you have to have them side to side mainly. You don't need to have that great ability to come in, to go back, more than you are reacting left and right at third. Corner spots. Middle infielders have to have a little bit more range, a little more on their toes. Regardless, athletes are how you win games. Gotta have them.
Gardner's done his job as a leadoff man. He led off the first with a single and scored. And then with 1 out in the third, he walked and scored. Scored on Aaron Judge's 49th home run. 0-2. Timeout had been called before the pitch.
Usually an umpire is going to use a hand signal like that, you know, and come out of there. But I did hear him yelling. But most of the time they'll throw their hands in the air. because the other position players out there can all see what he's doing. It's body language game. Can't hear. Even a crowd like today, it's tough to hear when you're playing.
Hosmer takes care of Gardner, 2 down, and Torreyes goes to third.
So folks, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Aaron Judge. You know, the Royals have done a great job holding him down all year. Not an RBI, not a homer against the Royals until now. Junis tried to get a piece of cheese at 95 by him. You can't sneak it by him, no doubt, as he's able to set the record. The rookie homers, look at it. All the smiles in that dugout. Talk about athletes. He's not one-dimensional. He's a baseball player. Now we're not talking about Whitley. We're talking about Judge, who's got good speed. He can run. The outfield plays good defense, good strong arm. He can do it all. That's right.
Oh, and 2. Now we saw him at the end of last year, and he just looked overmatched. I mean, impressive size, impressive power. He put on a show during batting practice, and maybe you could predict him having a season like this at some point, but to have it the very next year, that's a stretch. No swing.
Yeah. Well, last year he was kind of a call-up, so you know he wasn't real confident. This year he made the team from the get-go out of spring training, so he had confidence going in. Girardi showed it in him, and then he had some early success. I mean, huge success this year, and then he's just went ahead to steamroll. Now it wasn't all a piece of cake. After the second half, when he won that home run derby, he found out that took a lot out of him.
This time around, Junis strikes him out. So the Yankees leave a runner at third base. Junis has struck out 4. New York leads 3-0.
Judge got to go.
The Yankees lead 3-0, and it's our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Melanie Garzi from Fairplay, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Melanie wins $500. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Melanie wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Paulo with a line drive foul. Look out. That usher down there wasn't paying attention. And it's a touchy subject here after what happened last week with that Little girl here at Yankee Stadium on the foul ball by Todd Frazier. Paulo struck out on a slider against Sabathia in the third. Now I've been told, Hud, our trivia question today, who has the highest postseason OPS in Major League history with at least 40 at-bats, was especially, that question was especially put together for you. Could it be Warren Cromartie?
Hey, that's a good guess.
Okay, no, it's not Warren Cromartie.
Why would they do that for me? I'm not that special. Our fans are, and that's what the whole thing about our Sprint trivia question revolves around. Yeah, he'll get on base for that. That's why you wear that elbow pad.
Especially down to the count 1-2.
Yep, CeCe been going inside all day long on the Royals with success. Nobody's hurt him yet in there.
Early 80s. Early 80s Royals.
Willie Aikens, my friend.
Had a heck of a World Series in 1980 against the Phillies. Double play, 6-4-3. And Witt is 0 for 3. There it is, over 1,200. Willie Aikens in his career in a postseason.
There you go, Willie. Hey, nice career you had, partner. Way to go. Look at the names right there, all time. You're on top of them. Believe it.
Ball one inside. Lorenzo has flied to right and he has walked. He was the first base runner against Sabathia with one out in the fourth inning. Sabathia set down the first 10 Royals today. And that's into right center field. Ellsbury cuts it off right in front of the wall, and Lorenzo goes into second base with a double. Doesn't it always seem, if a double play doesn't end the inning, that right after you turn a double play, somebody gets an extra base hit?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the truth here today. But no, Lorenzo, the ball didn't quite get to the wall. Yes, it's a nice job by Ellsbury to cut it off, but Locaine could see it. When it's hitting that gap, you can see it as you hit first, and then you know whether you have to shift gears to get to second or not. Locaine didn't have to. He cruised in.
Now Melky grounds it out to Frazier, and that's the inning. Melky is 1 for 3. Royals get 2 more base runners, but the double play was big. The Yankees lead 3-0. Aaron Judge has hit a 2-run home run and the Yankees lead 3-0. Our last Gordo Nation is coming up on Thursday. For only $35 you get a seat in left field near Alex Gordon, a limited edition Charlie Husselbrand t-shirt, and an Alex Gordon big head. That'll be the Royals and the Tigers on Thursday. Royals.com/theme tickets. Gary Sanchez, Didi Gregorius, and Matt Holliday in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sanchez helped set up the Yankees' first run with a double in the first. Gardner was at first base with 1 out. Sanchez doubled up the line. That got Gardner to third, and then he scored on a ground out by Gregorius.
So, if anybody out there was saying, well, let's see how Junis does at Yankee Stadium. He's done a nice job. Hadn't gotten any run support. He's done a pretty good job, you know. I don't know if I'm going to call it a mistake to judge. It was a 95-mile-an-hour heater, you know, right above the belt. A lot of guys popped that up, so I'm not going to go out and say that was a mistake. I think he's doing all right.
Here's Dave Island, one-time Yankees player, Yankees pitching coach when they won the World Series in 2009.
That's right. 2-time world champion as a pitching coach. And of course, he's the one and only that hit a home run his first time at bat, his first at bat in the majors, and his first hitter he ever faced homered off of him. He became the first pitcher, the first player to ever do that. Love talking about that.
High and deep to left, and Melky has enough room.
You know, at least once a year we have to bring that up. It's a great feat. Whenever you're the one and only in Major League Baseball, that's pretty good. The game's been going on for a long time, and it's very difficult.
One of them he'd certainly brag about.
Okay.
The part where, you know, you hit a home run in your first big league at bat. It was against Bobby Ojeda in 1992.
Right.
But 4 years before that, the first hitter he faced was Paul Molitor, and Molitor hit a home run.
Well, you can be proud of that too.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Believe it. He did something I couldn't do off Ojeda. I faced Ojeda a bunch in my career. I could never go deep off of him. Way to go, Super Dave.
Gregorius is 0 for 2. He has an RBI. Dave is also famous for something else here in New York. It was at the old stadium. He was Kevin Costner's body double in the movie For Love of the Game.
That's right. He's proud of that too. To be a body double for that guy, that movie star.
Now, I think Kevin Costner used to say after the movie came out that he threw every pitch in that movie, but many of those pitches were thrown by Dave Island.
That's right.
But it was interesting talking to Dave about that. He had to observe Kevin Costner. He had to watch him play catch. He had to watch him in his pitching motion, and he had to copy Kevin Costner.
Awesome.
So that when it was actually Dave and not Kevin Costner, that it looked the same. It didn't look like two different guys. Kevin Costner really wanted it to look like an authentic baseball movie. But he was here, I want to say he told me, for over 2 months for filming, because half the movie is about Kevin Costner's life and the other half is him pitching. Well, I don't want to ruin the movie, but half of it is about him pitching.
That's interesting. Way to go.
Two and two on Gregorius. He did not get to kiss Kelly Preston, however, in the movie.
That was my next question.
Yep.
Right. Well,
those scenes were all reserved for Kevin Costner.
yeah, wouldn't you know it?
Still 2 and 2 on Gregorius. Well, he has done better than a nice job. He was an easy guy to feel sorry for. The first shortstop after Derek Jeter in New York.
I was one of those who felt sorry for him.
He's made a nice defensive play already today. He's driven in a run. He has hit 25 home runs, which is a Yankee record for a shortstop, which was a record that Derek Jeter held. His number is amongst the many retired numbers. And really, he hadn't accomplished a whole lot in his big league career. You're not talking about a bona fide all-star coming in here. Melky, that was a trap. So Gregorius is on with one out. This is a guy who was not established yet as a big leaguer, coming in, taking over at short. And maybe you know what? Maybe in retrospect that was the way to do it, instead of bringing in a guy that already had some name recognition, and then you know.
Well, fortunately, he had cut his teeth with the Diamondbacks a little bit there, but you're right. He was relatively new, and I think the Yankees and Brian Cashman wanted somebody who was young and had athleticism and had potential, and they trusted him. It took him a little while, but he stayed with it. You know, that's what managers do. Managers got to stay with their guys in this sport. This sport is not instant gratification or instant success. It just doesn't happen. It takes time. And look what he's done. He stayed with him. He's progressively gotten better and better until who knows what the ceiling could be on him. Uh-oh. Watch out. That base puts guys on the DL. I think he's more embarrassed than anything else.
Helped up by former Royals manager Tony Pena.
Step on that base just right. Oh, it looked like he. Oh, that was embarrassing. Oz couldn't get the tag on.
0-1 on Matt Holliday.
Looked like he just caught his spikes in the dirt. I don't think he tripped over the base. Oh, well, it happens.
Holliday is struck out looking, and he's grounded back to Junis. Just inside, 1-1. Now Holliday lines it to left field. And Melky's going to play it off the wall instead of trying to cut it off. They're going to wave home Gregorius. And he goes rolling into home plate to make it 4-0 New York. Melky cuts that off. I think you have to hold Gregorius at third base.
Oh, no doubt about it. Melky looked like he gave up on a little bit too soon there. Holliday, he raked it, but he didn't really wrap it like he wanted to. But Melky just went ahead and took the angle, played off the wall, and that'll be it. Or no, it's not going to be it for Judas. It's Dave Island's coming out, but another awkward slide at home by DIDI.
'86 pitches. And as Dave Island goes out for a chat, they go to work in the Royals bullpen. A lot of left-hand batters are in the Yankee lineup today, so the first man up is Ryan Buchter. Junis gave up 1 in the first, 2 more in the third, and now a run in the 6th. And it's Greg Bird with a runner at second base and 1 out. He is grounded out sharply to Hosmer at first and popped out. Bird was on the disabled list the last time the Royals saw the Yankees with a right ankle injury, and ended up having surgery to remove a small bone from his leg.
Yeah, that's too bad because he's definitely their first baseman of the future.
Deep to right field and into the second deck for a 2-run home run, and the Yankees take a 6-0 lead in the 6th inning.
Well, there's a little bit of a glimpse of why they think he's their first baseman in the future. He's got tremendous power. He's tall. He's long. He's got long arms, long legs. That gives a batter with those physical skills leverage. So when he gets extended like that, ball goes a long way. A one-hand takeoff. It's the first time I've ever seen the young man swing the bat.
Well, Frazier takes a strike. One and one on Todd Frazier. That ties a season high with 6 runs allowed for Junis. First time he did it was at the Tigers at the end of June. Merrifield was playing up the middle, and he'll get Frazier for the second out. And now here's Ned Yost. Ellsbury coming up and 2 down, and Junis is at 94 pitches, and Ned will make the call for Ryan Buchter.
Junis will get another start before this season's over.
Chevy called to the bullpen with the Royals down 6-0 in the 6th. In 2/3 innings, 6 runs, 7 hits, and the Yankees hit 2 home runs. And now he's out. Ryan Buchter is in. Start your day with First Things First, weekday mornings on FS1 with host Chris Carter and Kansas City's Nick Wright as they kick off the day with the latest in sports. First Things First, weekdays at 5:30 in the morning on FS1. Ryan Buchter will face Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 down and nobody on. Ellsbury has popped to short and lined to right on a nice running play by Bonifacio.
Buchter, strong lefty, big guy, likes to challenge people. He's got just a couple of pitches, maybe 3 if you count his cutter, but he's got, you know, fastball low to mid-90s, fastball, cutter, slider. But he challenges guys. He tries to keep the ball away from lefties, but he's durable, strong. He's looked good.
And Ned Yost has been using him more. This is the 7th time he has pitched during the 11-game road trip.
Yeah, and you know, he's relatively young as far as Major League service goes. He's under 2 years, but this is his 12th season as a pitcher, so he spent a lot of minor league time. Yeah, he's out.
Jerry Lane, the third base umpire, calls him out on appeal. The Yankees get 3 more in the 6th.
Way to go, Jerry.
Baseball is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all, for less. Yankees have a couple of 2-run home runs today. Aaron Judge is 49th, tying the Major League rookie record, and Greg Bird. So CC Sabathia pitches with a 6-0 lead. He has given up 3 hits and only 5 base runners in his first 6 innings. He began by setting down the first 10. And he throws a fastball for a strike to Eric Hosmer. Hosmer is grounded out to short and grounded out to first. Sabathia has only thrown 73 pitches. Hosmer goes the other way. That is base hit number 188, so he needs 12 hits in the last 6+ games to get to 200 for the first time in his career.
Okay, talking earlier about facing CC, you can't pull him. You need to go to the opposite field. That ball's on the inner half. Look at the head position by Haas. Beautiful stroke. Kept his hands inside of the baseball. That is nice. That's how you do it. It's hard to pull him if you're a lefty and if you're a righty. Because even though at that velocity there, that's not above average at all. That's below average fastball. But he's placing it right in on their hands of the right-handed hitters, and it's tough. It's tough for him to barrel it. They're not going to get much out of it. Pull it foul. Oh.
Salvador Perez hits it high and deep to left field, and the Royals are on the board. Home run number 27. It is 6-2 in the 7th inning. So he adds to his Royals record. That's 24 of his 27 in the lineup as a catcher. And that is 80 RBIs for Salvador Perez, a new career high.
Beautiful swing, and congratulations, Salvi. You, like DIDI Gregorius, keep getting better every year. Nice. Now, I don't believe he barreled that like he can. I mean, he hit it good enough, obviously, to get it out of the park. But I think he kind of hit that off the end of the bat some, but that's plenty. Look at that. 80 stakes. Way to go. And way to battle through your injury, too, Salvi.
One and one on Moustakas. Even before the single and the home run, the Yankees were getting ready in the bullpen behind Sabathia, and he had a low pitch count. He still has a low pitch count, but he rarely gets to 100 pitches. He has only thrown that many pitches twice this year. And now Mike Moustakas launches it into right field, and he goes back to back with Salvador Perez. Mike Moustakas adds to his record. That is number 38, and now it's 6-3.
He won't have to go too far for that baseball. They threw it back, and the moose is loose here in New York City. There are moose calls all over the country. CeCe spun him one. It hung, a little spinner. CeCe might be getting a little bit tired. Left it up. Oh, that's nice. Look at that easy swing. Had a little bit of a rock back, took the hands back, go right through, catch the back underside, and get that backspin. Beauty.
This is Chad Green and a Yankees Chevy call to the bullpen. Six innings, and now they have 3 thanks to home runs from Salvador Perez and Mike Moustakas, and now they're into the Yankee bullpen. This postseason, get ready for excitement, drama, and thrilling plays. The 2017 Major League Baseball postseason begins October 3rd. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. Nobody out. Hosmer singled, Perez homered, Moustakas homered. And Green gets Jorge Bonifacio. That's outside for ball 1, 97 miles an hour.
That's right. Turn up the velo a little bit. So it's a little easier, shorter swing. I want to let him supply the power. Now he likes to sink the fastball, slider, cutter, change. Slider. 6'3", 210, just 25 years young.
big strikeouts for Green. 3 balls, no strikes. 101 strikeouts in 66 innings.
Whew. It's what you need out of your bullpen. Like to have it. Look at that. That's it. That is just some easy, free and easy gas right there. Cheese, petrol, fuzz, whatever you want to call a fastball. There's a lot of names for it. Players will tell you. Ooh, no wonder. Plus, you got a cutter slider combination that even makes it more difficult.
Bonifacio was able to check his swing, and now he's on, so the first 4 have reached.
No, he didn't. Okay. Get a little something going here. They're in the game, and now let's see if they can put a little pressure on the Yankees.
Alcides Escobar has flied to center, and he is lined to left. He's had an excellent September, which includes the most extra base hits for him in any month of his career. "13 extra base hits."
He overswung there a little bit.
Trying for number 14.
Yeah, it is just nice and easy. Easy swing.
Went around, and it's 0-2, and that was 98. That was the turnaround date for Alcides Escobar, June 13th. And now ground ball up the middle. Gregorius to Torreyes. Safe. So the Yankees get the lead runner. Bonifacio is out. The Yankees will take another look.
Watch the hands on DIDI here. Okay. Look at that. Huh? Barely even saw that come out. But the important thing is he let Torres, the second baseman, see it. You're turning a double play with your partner. You better make sure that he sees the ball. Don't try to hide it and flip it at him, because he may not be able to get it. First man, sure. Get the first out before you can get the second one. DIDI got nice hands.
And now Paulo Orlando, and he slashes it foul. I tell you what, for me, I wasn't an infielder, but the most impressive part right here is he didn't flip it to Torreyes. He put it to the left of second base, where Torreyes, maybe he had to reach a little more than he needed to, but it put him in a good throwing position.
Sure enough.
Kind of led him like a quarterback meeting a receiver.
That was a good feed, but definitely in the era when they used to break up the double play, the second baseman is going to go ahead and take that feed on the other side of the bag and throw it. So back in the day, that was the perfect feed. Still got the double play. The good hands people play in the middle. Feet and hands. You know, bringing that up again, it seems like it was last week that I was taking ground balls with Willie Randolph, and I was a Yankee, and Willie Randolph pulled me aside and said, "Now, just got to give you a little tip here. There's a couple guys in the league that can end your career." I said, "Really?" My eyes got big. "Who's that?" He goes, "They're on the same team. Guy named George Brett, guy named Hal McRae. Be careful with those guys. When they get on first base, they're not going to look to just break up a double play. They could break you in half." I went, "Whoa, okay, thank you." Fortunately, I never had to turn to when one of those two gentlemen were coming in there. But
Willie Randolph was speaking from experience, of course.
Yes, and also that was the Royals' heyday, and the Yankees were pretty good too, and they were battling each other. That was in that time, and I was just so excited being a young big leaguer. I forgot about all that, and how competitive those two teams were back in those days with Gossage, you know, and Brett, all, you know. Those are some.
They didn't like each other.
No, they didn't.
Paulo was down on strikes.
High chase. But when you got a guy like this young man here with a good fastball, Chad Green, and then he wrinkles you down low, you're all set to swing at that 97. You don't have time to react. You're in swing mode, and then he gets you out like that.
Escobar's at first with 2 down for Whit Merrifield. My favorite part about one of my favorite parts about the Hal McRae slide into Willie Randolph was what happened the next day. They're at the batting cage, and a big guy for the Yankees named Cliff Johnson was all over Hal McRae. He was a backup player, and he was saying, you know, what are you doing? You could end his career. You don't slide like that. And he challenged him to a fight. He said, I'm going to fight you. You almost, you know, that's a young player of ours. He's important. You don't slide into him like that. To which Hal McRae said, which will live forever, Cliff, I don't fight extra guys.
That's awesome.
1-1 on Merrifield.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
6'4", 215 pounds.
And he
Cliff
was
Johnson.
You know, they don't really have enforcers in baseball, but he would be one of those guys.
And Hal McRae played like a big man, but he was not a big man. Cliff Johnson was.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, it's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the heart of the dog. And McRae was an animal. He was a stud. And I told you the other day, I miss Hal McRae. I wish Hal would come to Kansas City.
Still 1-2 on Whit. That one was 99 miles an hour from Chad Green.
Now getting to see Hal's son Brian, that helps me some to see his offspring, you know, and a big leaguer, and Brian had a nice career. But I miss Hal. Hal's you know, such a big part of the Royals' history. I'm hoping we can see him sometime.
Escobar takes off, and Whit hits another foul ball. The Yankees just scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th inning, and we're starting to run away with this one. The Royals only had 3 hits and no runs in their first 6 at-bats, but they have scored 3 in this inning. Salvador Perez has hit a 2-run home run. MOUSTAKAS has hit a home run. It's 2-2 on Merrifield with Escobar at first base.
Okay, nice take there. 89-mile-an-hour slider. Take it, but think right field for Whitley here. He's got the pop.
Escobar is not running, and that's ball 3, and now he will be running.
Excellent plate discipline Whitley showing here.
Grounded out to Torreyes, and that'll do it. But the Royals cut the deficit in half. Back-to-back home runs from Salvador Perez, who hit a 2-run shot, and Mike Moustakas, who adds to the Royals' record with his 38th. was number 49 for Aaron Judge, tying the major league record for a rookie. That home run from Greg Bird gave the Yankees a 6-0 lead at the end of 6, but then Salvador Perez against CC Sabathia. That is his 27th of the year. Mike Moustakas follows with his 38th, and it is 6-3 to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jacob Junis tied a season high by giving up 6 runs today. Did that over 5 2/3. And then Ryan Buchter got the last out of the 6th. And then CC Sabathia only gave up 3 hits in his first 6 innings, but then the 2 home runs and 3 runs without recording an out in the 7th. And now Trevor Cahill will get the bottom of the 7th inning with the 9 1-2 hitters coming up.
Trevor Cahill get his repertoire in there. Loves to throw that sinking fastball, slider, curve, change. He's got a nice changeup. He'll use as a swing and miss pitch. Starter early in the season for the Padres. He came over in the trade, started a few times here, got a little injured, had a little banged up shoulder, and then came back and has been pitching out of the pen.
Ronald Torreyes will lead off. He has doubled and grounded out to third. Fastball in there for strike 1.
.88-92 will be the velocity. Cahill.
Line to center and sinking. Torreyes is on to begin the 7th inning. And now Brett Gardner, he has scored twice. Led off the first inning with a single. Scored on a DIDI Gregorius ground out, and then walked and scored on Aaron Judge's home run in the 3rd. Aaron Judge is on deck. He has lined to deep center, hit a 2-run home run, and struck out. And his next home run will be a major league record for a rookie. Two balls and no strikes.
Now check out what he's using. There's a lot of different ways to get loose, the donuts and stuff, but now he just set that down. That device there, it's a weighted, but you can screw the middle weight there down to where you want the balance of the bat to be. So there's a lot of different ways, things that hitters use in that on-deck circle. There it is right there. That's been around a long time. That middle silver part there, you can screw it to go up. Yeah, it's threaded. You can screw it to go up and down. It just kind of helps with the balance.
Whether you want all the weight on the end or in the middle.
Right. It kind of helps you balance your swing to get loose.
3-1 on Gardner. Remember a guy, wasn't in the big leagues for very long. His name was Patrick Lennon. Remember him? Big outfielder, played for the A's among other teams. He used to loosen up in the on-deck circle with a sledgehammer.
I've heard of that before.
Bunted foul, 3 balls, 2 strikes. He wasn't as big as Aaron Judge, but he was big. And you can imagine, pitcher warming up, seeing who's on deck, and there's a guy with a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
getting loose.
Now that would be a little top heavy.
Torres takes off and Gardner fouls it at the plate. That man right there is the longest tenured current Yankee. Brett Gardner made his big league debut 9 years ago. Grounds it up the middle. Torres was running and he stopped, and that cost the Yankees a couple of outs. He had run on the previous 2 pitches, and before that pitch he started running and then he stopped.
Yeah, look at that nice little easy turn there. Escobar over the top with his throw, got it. But you're right, if he'd kept going, it had no double play there.
And since the Royals turned a McDouble play, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow at participating Greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence McDonald's locations. Yankees taking another look at that play at first base. They will not challenge. So that double play is huge with Aaron Judge coming up.
Judge, as big as he is, 6'7", you'd think he'd like to play basketball. Well, he did. His father encouraged it, but he told his dad, "Dad, my love is baseball. I'm going to play baseball."
6'7", he's just another guy out there on the court.
No doubt. But both of his parents attended Fresno State University, and they encouraged him to go there as well to become a Bulldog, and that's what he did.
2-1 on Judge.
I was talking to his coach, Mike Batesel, at Fresno State. Oh.
Melky Cabrera is back, and that is gone for history. That's a souvenir of a lifetime right there. Aaron Judge has hit more home runs as a rookie than any player in Major League history.
Yeah, why would you want to play basketball when you can hit a baseball that far off the end of your bat? Here comes the curtain call.
What an accomplishment.
Yep. Humble.
.50 home runs, passing Mark McGwire, who hit 49 in 1987, and now the Yankees have hit back-to-back home runs. The Royals just had back-to-back home runs in the top of the 7th, and now the Yankees get their 4th home run of the game. This one from Gary Sanchez, and now he's hit over 30, and it is 8-3 New York. 2 completely different home runs. Judge, a high, majestic home run to left center field, and Sanchez with a line drive home run.
Yeah, I mean, the folks here in Yankee Stadium, they're still buzzing about the Judge homer. They didn't really realize that was going to be out until it left.
Now Gregorius lines it over Hosmer. That is his 2nd hit. And it's the 4th hit of the inning for the Yankees. interesting. Last year, the Yankees were sellers at the trading deadline, and I don't ever remember that being the case. And yet they hung in there. They still almost got a wild card spot. They still had a winning season. But when they parted ways with Alex Rodriguez, at least on the field, the very next day they called up some of their younger players. The youth movement began. That was in the middle of August. Ball one on Matt Holliday. Aaron Judge hit a home run in his first major league at bat, and then Tyler Austin hit a home run in his first major league at bat, back to back. First time in major league history that two guys hit home runs in their first major league at bats back to back. And so there was a youth movement here. There was not a complete teardown, but a rebuild. But the downtime was about 5 hours.
Right.
And then they were full swing again. Two and one on Holiday. Three and one.
Remember when we were here earlier in the season? That was in May. They had just put that out there, the judges' chambers. And I remember talking to Matt Holliday at the batting cage. That was the first day they had put it out when we got to town. And they had put that out there, and I talked to Holliday. I go, you know, isn't for a young rookie, isn't that a lot of pressure in May? This kid hasn't done anything yet, but they saw the potential in him, and he looked at me and says, yeah, but it won't faze this kid. It's because he's got such a good attitude. And we're seeing history here today.
Scott Alexander comes on with 2 on and 2 out. Has hit more home runs just recently, has hit more home runs than any rookie in Major League history. But Aaron Judge has hit 2 today, 4 in his last 2 games. Our Honda plays of the game. He went to the opposite field against Jacob Junis for number 49. That was in the 3rd inning to tie Mark McGwire, and then this one here in the 7th inning against Trevor Cahill, number 50, becoming just the 5th Yankee in history with a 50 home run season.
Wow. Scott Alexander going to come in. 2.55 ERA. Nice. Sinker slider.
After Judge homered, Gary Sanchez homered, and then Gregorius singled and Holiday walked. The Yankees have hit 4 home runs today. Greg Bird has one of those. 2 balls and no strikes. The other 4 Yankees: Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle, and Alex Rodriguez.
Oh.
To hit 50 home runs in a Yankee uniform. And now the bases are loaded with 2 down. Joel has done some exhaustive research. This has been it's not been a good road trip for the Royals. It's been a historic road trip. The Royals have ended the longest winning streak in the history of the American League, ending the 22-game win streak against Cleveland. Mike Moustakas has set a new Royals single season record for home runs. And Moustakas will step on the bag. Alex Gordon, remember, hit the home run to set the single season major league record for the league as a total. And now we've seen Aaron Judge hit the major league record 50 for a rookie. Sunny day in New York, a good day to hit, and we've seen 11 runs and 6 home runs today. The Red Cross depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately, and you can help by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. David Robertson, who began his major league career here in New York as a setup man, was a closer for the White Sox, and he was traded back to the Yankees at the trading deadline, and now he comes on in a 5-run game in the top of the 8th inning.
Solid right-hander. Only 5'11", 195, but he's 32 years young. He's a veteran. He's been doing it for a while. Good stuff. Fastball, good little downhill angle, 97 and 94, curve and change. Solid mechanics.
Lorenzo Cain has walked and doubled. Stayed inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. CC Sabathia went 6. He pitched into the 7th but did not record an out. He gave up the 3 runs, and then Chad Green finished off the 7th inning. 2-2 on CAIN. Robertson was drafted out of the University of Alabama by the Yankees 11 years ago. His older brother Connor Robertson also played in the big leagues. Fastball at 93 is fouled away. I've heard many different terms for a curveball. Yacker, Uncle Charlie, Yellow Hammer is one that you'll use from time to time. Robertson's is known as a Snapdragon curveball.
That's a good one. I've heard that one before. That's a good term.
Snapdragon.
Yeah.
So I guess the snap part means it's got some good break to it, and then like a dragon, what, it blows fire in your face as it passes through the strike zone?
I'm with you. Sounds good to me, except it's not very fun to try to hit it.
No. Three and 2. LORENZO CAIN, you could hear him all the way up here yelling no at home plate umpire Marvin Hudson, who did not react immediately. It was a delayed call. 1 out.
Don't know of too many big leaguers that waste at bats. And there's one right there. LOCAIN was thinking that was just down too low.
You in favor of an automatic strike zone, a mechanical strike zone, electronic strike zone, whatever you want to call it?
No, because it's hard to even imagine what that would be like. And I want an umpire back there that's trained to do the best he can. The human element is important to me in baseball. Nobody's perfect. And for me, I think it would eliminate jobs, and I'm not for it. Some people might be, I'm not.
Now, we've been told that the strike zone grid that we show you is adjusted for every hitter. So if it's from the hollow of the kneecaps to the just underneath the armpit or whatever, that it adjusts based on the height of the hitter. 2 down in the 8th inning. So Aaron Judge's strike zone is going to be a lot different than Ronald Torreyes. But, and maybe I'm biased, but that did not look like a strike to LORENZO CAIN, even though the grid says that it was a strike. I mean, sometimes the eyes will just tell you that that pitch was low.
Well, if more hitters with 2 strikes had in their mind, I'm not going to put the pressure on the umpire to call me out. Anything close, I'm going to be hacking. But they don't always think that way. Or they get up there and they get caught, maybe guessing, and they take the pitch, and they're hoping that he calls it a ball. But if you had that aggressive, I'm going to swing mentality, anything close, not anything way off the plate, and you foul it off, and you get a cookie, and you get a base hit.
Hosmer slices it foul to the left field side.
Especially with runners on base. You have runners on base and you take a call third. It's a borderline pitch. Shame on you. It's not the umpire's fault. Swing the bat. I think they should widen the strike zone. It would move the game a lot quicker. Call more strikes. Hitters won't like it. Pitchers will. But I think the game right now is a hitter's game. It's revolved around the hitter more than the pitcher.
1-2 on Hosmer.
So if you continue to, if you do that, that would help the pitcher a little bit. But I'm not sure that the higher minds of baseball's Players Association and the commissioner's office would have all agree on that. But just my opinion.
That's why I asked.
Thank you. Ooh.
Robertson comes on and strikes out the side. 2 swinging, 1 looking. Mike Morin will pitch the bottom of the 8th. New York leads 8-3. The 8th inning. Now is the time to renew your season tickets for next year. If you do so by November 6th, you'll receive an exclusive Salvador Perez All-Star bobblehead. So renew today by logging on to your My Royals tickets account at royals.com/myticks.
Just what that gentleman's doing right there. Right as you're speaking, he's logging on.
Mike Morin will pitch to Ellsbury, Torreyes, and Gardner. The Yankees have hit 4 home runs. The Royals have hit 2 home runs. And the shadows will tell you better about what time of year it is than the temperature. It has been much warmer than normal in the Midwest and now in the East. But those shadows will tell you that we're getting into late September. And the Royals begin a homestand tomorrow. The high temperature will be 71 degrees. Those are the shadows of a late afternoon game when you're talking about the middle of the summer. But it is only 3:40 in the afternoon here, and there are the shadows.
And I can just tell you, it's hard to hit in broad daylight with no shadows. But when you throw shadows in there, it makes it even harder. Drew's picking up salvi here.
Torreyes pops it up, and it's going to drop. Torreyes is digging for second. And now the ball gets away from Escobar, and on a bloop to right field, Ronald Torreyes is at third base.
Oz looked like he was yielding to Merrifield. And Whitley had a little bit further to go. The ball kind of sailed towards the line on him. Bonifacio didn't get his feet under him, so he couldn't get a good throw off to Eske. Eske tried to swipe, pick and tag, and as a result, Bonifacio is going to get an error. And that's his fourth.
And it's a double, too. Double error 9. And the infield is in for Brett Gardner. 9-3 New York as Gardner drives into Reyes. So the error turns into a run. Gardner has scored twice. Now he drives in his first run. And Aaron Judge comes to the plate. He has already homered twice today. He homered twice yesterday in Toronto. And with 2 home runs today, it is the 7th time this season he's had 2 home runs in a game. But more importantly, he has hit 50, which is a major league record for a rookie.
And has never had a 3 home run game, so it's all set up. First pitch, Junis, 95 above the belt. He caught it. He got opposite field. Cahill served it up, and off the end of the bat, there's the record homer right there. Deserved a curtain call from the Yankee Stadium faithful here. And Mike Morin now is going to try to keep him from doing something he's never done, and that's hit 3 homers in a game. But Morin's got a really tough pitch, a changeup. It just kind of floats up there. Fastball, slider, changeup. That's his best pitch. That's right, we want to keep it on him. 88 to 92 is the velocity for Morin. Hit the spot.
Two and 1. The announced attendance is over 40,000 today, 40,023 or something like that. But everyone here today can say I was there when Aaron Judge broke the record. He was able to stop his swing. 3 balls and 1 strike. Instead, he will take a walk and add to another rookie record. It's not just the home runs, but Aaron Judge has established rookie records this year for both walks and strikeouts. And now Clint Frazier, another rookie, is going to run for him, so that Judge can be acknowledged by the crowd one more time. Sanchez takes low, ball 1. You think about the shadows here, and it reminds me of one of Yogi Berra's great lines. I don't remember what ballpark he was referring to, but he says it gets later earlier here. Referring to the way the sunset would cast shadows at a certain ballpark. The shadows would show up and give you the appearance that it's later in the day compared to other ballparks. It gets later earlier here,
and it's the truth.
One and 2 on Gary Sanchez.
You know, I didn't do much in my career. But I can tell you the managers that I got to play for was really fun, as great as they were. But Yogi Berra was one of the greatest managers I got to play for, and that was in 1994. They fired Yogi. George did in '85, and that was it. That was his last chance, last time he ever managed, and just to be around him every day, and how much the players loved him, and I can't believe that I had a chance to play for him actually.
Timeout had been called. That's the second time that the home plate umpire Marvin Hudson has yelled time. I wonder though, pitcher, it doesn't happen very often, but a pitcher could hurt himself if he tries to stop his pitching motion right in the middle, and I wonder if by yelling time he's making it clear that time is out. But both times the pitcher followed through with his motion. Gardner will be held at third, and the bases are loaded with 1 out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, sometimes when you stop in midway, you can hurt yourself. And it's awkward. A pitcher never stops in the middle of his windup anywhere when he's warming up or anywhere, except for that situation. So some guys are going to go ahead and just follow through and finish.
So if you start going time, and the pitcher looks to home plate and he sees the arms in the air, he could stop and potentially injure himself. But if he yells time, well, the catcher knows, the hitter knows, and both times the pitcher didn't pick up in it right away, so he followed through with his pitch, and then it was no pitch because he yelled time instead of calling time.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting concept.
Probably won't see Marvin Hudson the rest of the year, but I'm expecting at some point next year you're going to go ask him if that's why he does that.
And then I'll quickly refer to the great Joe Goldberg, that he can get on that, make it a Goldie story.
Who?
The great Goldie.
One run home in the 8th inning. And now the bases loaded, 1 out for DIDI Gregorius. 1 ball and 1 strike. He has 1 grand slam in his career, and that was this year. Two balls, 1 strike. Did you see that replay the other day? Gregorius, when he hit his 25th home run for the Yankee record for a shortstop, with his follow through, the bat came out of his hand and it hit Twins catcher Jason Castro.
I saw that.
Didn't hit him hard, but it hit him. 3 balls, 1 strike. So he stopped before starting his home run trot. He stopped and turned as the ball is flying out into right field for a home run. He stopped to make sure that Jason Castro was all right and apologized to him, and then began his home run trot.
Yeah, I saw that, and the bat came out of his hand, before he wanted to, and it hit him. And the ball, he knew it was going to be a homer.
All the runners had to freeze on the line drive, so that'll produce 1 run. Gardner scores for the 3rd time today. Gregorius has a base hit in his last 3 at-bats. That's his 2nd RBI. It is now 10-3.
But nonetheless, that play, that swing you were talking about, showed tremendous sportsmanship there.
And now Tyler Wade will run for Gregorius, who looks like he could pass for Jacoby Ellsbury's brother. Line to right, Bonifacio makes a play. Frazier, who is running for Judge, comes home to score. And the Yankees have their 2nd 3-run inning of the day, and now they lead 11-3. So first and second with 2 down. And here's Greg Bird, who has hit one of the 4 home runs. His home run was into the second deck in right field back in the 6th inning.
Wow. Tester.
And Moustakas had to adjust the last moment, looking up into the sun. The Yankees get 3. Royals are coming up in the 9th inning, down by 8.
We are now to the top of the 9th. Joel Goldberg back at Yankee Stadium. Jeff Montgomery will join me momentarily for Boulevard Royals Live. And coming up on the post-game show, Aaron Judge makes history. We witnessed that. Plus, Mike Moustakas, Salvador Perez adding to their career highs. We'll talk about all that. And guys, if you think about it, we've seen a lot of history on this road trip. A long winning streak extended. A streak broken in Cleveland. Mike Moustakas breaking Royals history, and Aaron Judge today. So we have seen a lot, but needless to say, to borrow a term from HUD, all of us have about 2 weeks worth of laundry to hang up when we get home.
Yes, we do. Tommy Kahnle will pitch the 9th inning, and another history-making home run. Alex Gordon hit a home run in this road trip, which accounted for the most home runs in the entire major leagues in one season.
Yeah, when you sit back here and think about it here on the final day of this trip, I didn't realize all that was taking place. Just great to be a part of broadcast and being a part of baseball. It's a blast. Baseball is the grand game.
One of the greatest comebacks in Royals history occurred with this matchup right here. Drew Butera and Tommy Kahnle a year ago May. Remember when Tommy Kahnle was pitching for the Chicago White Sox?
Yep.
And Drew Butera had come into the game because Salvador Perez had been injured in a collision with Cheslor Cuthbert. Torreyes makes a play in foul territory. And it was Drew Butera who tied the game with a double. Royals were down 7-1. And it was Butera's double that tied the game at 7. And Brett Eibner in his first major league series ended up with a walk-off. And now here's Mike Moustakas, who hit his 38th home run in the 7th inning, adding to his Royals single season record. It also tied the Kansas City major league record. Bob Cerv, who passed away in April, hit 38 home runs for the Kansas City A's back in 1958. No balls, 2 strikes. We'd see Bob serve at Royals games occasionally. 2 down. And now Jorge Bonifacio with 2 down. He's been on base twice today. Two 2-0. The Yankees had a 6-0 lead when Greg Bird hit a 2-run home run in the 6th, and then the Royals came back in the 7th. They got the 2-run home run from Salvador Perez, a solo home run from Mike Moustakas, and they had 2 on with 1 out in that 7th inning. But Chad Green came out of the Yankee bullpen and held the Royals scoreless for the rest of that inning. So it was a 3-run game going into the bottom of the 7th, but the Yankees got 2 more in the 7th inning and 3 in the 8th. Bonifacio's on with 2 outs. That's the 2nd time he's walked today. And now Canely will get Alcides Escobar. He is 0 for 3. The Tampa Bay Rays will be here tomorrow for the Yankees. The Royals will go home and play the Tigers. Royals have the Tigers and the Diamondbacks to wrap up the regular season home schedule. The Yankees will be at home against the Rays and the Blue Jays. Oh, and 2. And that puts an end to the Royals-Yankees season series, and it puts an end to the Royals road portion of the schedule. The Yankees, with the best record at home in the American League, they muscle up for 4 home runs and beat the Royals today 11-3. We'll be right back.